Hello everybody, I just wanted to come on here to discuss a little bit about some of our what I consider our healthier honey varieties. To start off, first, all raw honey is healthy for you, right? If the sugar content is not too much, but it has all your vitamins, minerals, complex sugars, fibers, then especially when you add like certain pollens in there, and then some of your call it your bioactive compounds. That's what makes that's the special sauce in honey, right? That makes it, the varieties antibacterial, antioxidant, antiviral, and some are anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. But a lot of times people come in and they're asking for Manuka honey when they think about health honey. Manuka honey. And the thing with Manuka is really special, right? It's a special flower plant that primarily grows in New Zealand and some parts of Australia, and it makes honey that is sometimes tested, and it's considered medical grade. And since then, that part of the industry is it's pretty big, and it's, for the most part, is controlled by the government. The Manuka honey is a large portion of the industry, and so they try to protect it as much as possible. That's why they test it and they grade it. But that being said, when you have something in which it could bring in that much money, that's how you have exploitation and some fake varieties. And then for the most part too, it's marketing. A lot of people, you don't necessarily need what you consider medical grade honey. But there are some honeys that come pretty close, right? So the one that we have here that grows everywhere, at least starting from the valleys of San Diego out to the deserts, from a huge portion of California, and also grows in North America, grows in Europe, and it grows in Asia, is buckwheat, right? We have a pretty decent variety of buckwheat here. Naturally, it's just a nutritious plant as well. But the buckwheat, I love the buckwheat because it's drought tolerant and it has a really long blooming season. So even when like the weather is funky and my hives are supposed to be hibernating and sleeping, not out frolicking, the buckwheat is blooming and it has food for them. So thing is, it tastes good. It doesn't taste like medicine like Manuka, but it's had research behind it, and it's been tested to have, in certain cases, higher antioxidant levels than Manuka. But along with it too, it also has your anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. But antioxidants is definitely its biggest one, and that's why we use it in a lot of our skincare products. So buckwheat. The next one that has some decent research behind it is eucalyptus. Eucalyptus, you could smell it, right? It smells like Vicks to me, but it doesn't taste like it. So it has a good taste. It's sweet, but eucalyptus has been studied especially for its antibacterial properties. Primarily, so there are certain actually bacteria that's even better at fighting. So a lot of times people who have you have sore throat, you have a cough, eucalyptus is a really good honey to use for that. But it also has its anti-inflammatory and other properties as well. And this one is from our Golden State, so it's from the Central Valley. So now there is a general rule when it comes down to, you can see honey has so many the shades, right? So your darker the honey, the more likely it has higher we call bioactive compounds, right? So the compounds that makes it, the bioactive compounds that makes it anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, anti-cancer, all these other stuff, is generally your darker honeys that have a higher percentage of these. And so our other dark honeys that we have at the shop is the avocado and the pomegranate. The pomegranate is like probably one of the darkest ones. So these don't have studies, to test honey is really expensive, and then it changes. Honey changes based on the season, based on the soil, because it's basically the nectar and the pollen that's being taken from the plant. And that plant, depending on the stress level, what's going on, its nectar is going to change as well on this pollen, because it's reacting to the environment around it. But that being said, if you come in, you're like, oh, I'm not a fan of buckwheat, I don't like the smell of eucalyptus, you got pomegranate and avocado, in which most cases they will have the attributes that you're looking for a healthy honey. And I think think I covered it all. I'm here if you got any questions. Thank you.